I taught this in term 2 at the end, but you've probably forgotten everything over the last 2 weeks. That's fine, I'm realistic. I've been teaching for 12 years. So let me remind you what common factors factorization was. Well, let me remind you what factorization was in general. In expansion, what happened to the brackets? Did they appear or did they disappear? You tell me, you just need to. No? When you were expanding, say let's make one of 2x plus 3, and you literally just did a test on this last term. When you expanded that, you would have been 2 times by x, which would have been
2x.
plus 2 times by 3, which would have been? What happened to the brackets? They disappeared. That's what you did to start off with. So factorization is the opposite. You're making the brackets appear again. And you're probably going to ask me, why do we need to do it back and forth? Because your next topic, which is on quadratics, requires you to be able to do both. And if you can't do both, well, you're not going to be able to do that. And why do you have to do quadratics? Because the government decided you had to do quadratics. And I'm part of the system that teaches you what you need to do. So what we're doing in factorization is putting the brackets back. See here, are there any brackets in this AB plus AC? Are there brackets here? So we are doing the backwards version of what we've done before. All right? And do you remember, did you do a test where you only did the yellow parts?
Yeah.
So now you're going to do the non-yellow parts. You may say, oh, it's cheating, I saw the other parts. Did you know anything about those white parts? You're going to know now. See, it's not cheating, I'm smarter than that. All right? So, what are the steps to do this? Break the terms down into factors. What are factors? It's the things that are times together to make the term. What would I have times together to get 3x? 3 and x, so I'll write 3. I've broken it down into factors. What would I have had to times together to get x squared? X and x. So that's the first step. I broke them down into factors. Step 2, put the highest common factor on the left outside a set of brackets. What is the biggest chunk that I see in both of these? Is 3 in both of them? Is x in both of them? So that's the biggest chunk that I see in both. And what does step 2 tell you? Put it on the left outside a set of brackets. That's empty right now. Put the leftover factors inside the brackets. So if I'm getting rid of these x's, what's left over here that I didn't cross out? 3, what? Minus x. So x, and then I'll go 3, take x. If you wanted to flex in your test and double check everything, you could expand this and see that you have the same answer as before. Because what would x times by 3 be? X times by 3? 3x, that's that. And what would x times by negative x be? Was that what it used to be before? So if you had time in your test to double check, you can do that. But I wouldn't suggest. Alright? Let's try. Let's do some practice. Fully factorize this. So what does step 1 tell you to do? Break it down into the factors. What would I have to times to get 2x squared? Looks like someone died in here. What would I have to times together? What numbers? 2, good. 2, dot. Say it loud, say it with your chest. You know what you're doing, you're just lacking confidence. What's the last thing that I would need to multiply this by to get 2x squared? X. Plus, not just that. Yes. Good. What is the biggest chunk that is in both of those things? Well done. What do I do with that biggest chunk? It goes on the left, outside a set of brackets. What do I put in those brackets? X, excellent. 2x plus 1. Why? Because I removed that one on the outside. What's left over? 2x plus 1. Okay? Gets harder. You're probably telling me here, this is not what I see on this board? Yes, it is. Because in algebra, what is the sign that I don't write? Times. Is there a times between A and the brackets? Is there a times between 5 and the brackets? Good. So this has been broken down already. What is the biggest chunk in both of these that you see in both? Excellent. So what do I do with the b plus 3? Where does it go? On the left. b plus 3 goes on the left, outside a set of brackets. I've gotten rid of this, it's on the outside now. What's left over that I didn't cross out? Yes. Last one. You're telling me again, that's not what you showed me, Mr. Twazon. This doesn't look like what I've shown. But if something is squared, what am I doing? Timesing it by what? Itself. Well done. So x take 1 squared is x take 1 times by x take 1. I've just written that out in full. What's left over here? 3 x take 1. What's the biggest chunk that I see in both of these? Good. Where does that go? X take 1 on the left. I've used up an x take 1. I've used up an x take 1. What's left over that I didn't cross out in that thing there? X take 1. Take 3. I'm not done yet. You get marks for this, but I'm not done yet, because is there anything stopping me going -1, take a further 3? Right? What would it be? -4. So it's going to be x take 1, x take 4. Then you're done. Then you get your full marks. Okay? I doubt anyone did all of the practice on the Friday that I set, because you wanted to just chill out and everything. That's cool. But no one's going to be able to turn around and tell me I didn't teach you. That's how this works. Okay? So what I would like you to do then is, instead of going on straight up and just teaching the next thing that I planned,